Juan, thank you for speaking with me today.
Hi, Bethany. How are you? Good.
Let's start with a war story. What is the most frustrating experience you've run into when it comes to digital over this last year?
I would have to say, and I talked a little bit about this back in the last session, is the multitude of solutions and partners and vendors and what have you that are still trying to get to this whole issue of attribution and yet not being able to sort of get anywhere in a tangible way there. It's always a source of frustration. And I don't think it's just for digital marketers. I think it's for all marketers.
What have you learned? What have you changed?
You know, what we're doing is we're doing a lot of test and learn. And rather than sort of trying to solve for the entire issue, which can be overwhelming, what we're doing is we're doing things that are very discrete and finite and trying to understand relationship between a certain tactic and a business outcome and sort of try to look at it at that level and take the learnings rather than, again, trying to solve for the entire thing, because, you know, you'll go crazy.
Okay, let's go to the flip side. What are you excited about, especially looking out into 2012?
Well, I think this is a bit of a cliche, but I think social media continues to be a very big thing that I think nobody can ignore. And so, of course, not everybody gets it at the, you know, at all levels of the organization, but what everybody does get is the magnitude and the reach and the scope of it. And then the other thing that we're beginning to see is how it evolves, and to the extent that it does, you know, the types of opportunities that it's presenting marketers. So I think I remain bullish and very excited about social media, despite the fact that there are those out there that say, well, it's a fad, and, you know, and like, what's the next thing, you know, so you can't ignore it.
No, it's here to stay. It's a new paradigm on how consumers and people work together.
Absolutely, yes.
So let's take that to the device side. What are you doing in mobile?
Again, a lot of test and learn. The one thing that we're starting to experiment with, and in fact we're going to do 2 tests, we've already done this year, is iPad advertising. It presents a new set of opportunities for us because it has all of the sort of the dynamics of mobile, but you know, because of the format of the device and the larger screen size, it affords us opportunities to do things that we can't do on an iPhone. So that's kind of exciting for us. It's kind of like a little bit of display and a little bit of mobile. So that's incredibly enough. We're doing more there than we are in let's say, traditional mobile devices.
What is your number one lesson for the rest of your community? What's the key thing that you've learned during your career so far?
I would keep going back to this whole concept of testing things and learning from them, and this whole concept of perpetual optimization, which is to say, you know, you don't really make huge bets on any one medium or any one tactic or any one channel, but rather you test different things, and then over time you sort of move your investments and you know, to the channels where you're getting the best results based on, you know, empirical data. Yeah, so I think that's, but I don't think that's a particularly unique insight. I think any of these guys will tell you that that's what they do as well. Right. Yeah.
And so very last, what is a small company or an emerging technology that you've got your eye on right now?
Let's see. So the guys that were here yesterday, I think they're called Shopkick. Yeah, so that's really, really interesting, this whole concept of rewarding consumers for visiting your store. I work in financial services, and I just kept thinking about what is the application of that if I want to bring people to you know, one of our branches. And so I think that's a particularly interesting, you know, new approach. So we'll see what happens.
Wonderful. Juan, thank you very much.